Well, hi there, new Zoom user. We're going to go through some tips today that might help you to navigate the Zoom app and other video conferencing applications as well that are similar so that you can have a better Zoom experience and know some of the skills before you start a conversation. So let's get started. So the first thing you needed to do was download Zoom, or you're using a computer that already has Zoom enabled and you're logged in. So that's the first step. If you are logged into Zoom, you'll see yourself in a rectangle on your screen. If there are others in the room with you, the Zoom room, you will see their squares or rectangles on the screen as well. And others' names will appear. Or if they haven't set their name, their phone number or the name of their computer system will show at the bottom of their Zoom box. So if you're familiar with Hollywood Squares, you get a few people in a Zoom room and it starts to look like a game of Hollywood Squares, which could be really fun, but we're here to work. So the next thing we need to know is how to mute and unmute ourselves. Zoom etiquette says that if we're not speaking, we should mute ourselves so that we aren't interrupting the speaker. That's the Zoom etiquette. However, the most common phrase from the year 2020 could probably be said to, you forgot to unmute. That's the thing I've heard in most meetings. It isn't a Zoom meeting unless somebody says you're on mute to remind us that we need to unmute. So to unmute and mute your screen, you should see at the bottom left corner of your screen, it looks like a microphone. And if you're unmuted, you will see a little green level move up and down as you speak. This indicates how well your voice is being heard by the rest of the callers in the Zoom room. If you're muted, you will see a red slash across your microphone. To unmute, you just click that microphone and that will mute or unmute you. Fun to do while you're speaking. I know that was aggravating, wasn't it? Our image works the same way. You can stop or start your video feed. If you don't want to be visible to the other people in the room, feel free to click the camera image, the icon at the next to the microphone at the bottom of your screen. You'll see stop or start video. If your camera is working and other people can see you, you will see that image without a red slash. If your camera is off, you will see a red slash across that camera icon and the words start video will show. So Zoom etiquette says that if you're in a room having a conversation with someone, unless you have a reason not to be, a good reason, maybe you're eating or there's some image in the background you don't want someone else to see, then you should have your camera on at most times to converse. If you're watching a webinar, the speaker may want you to have your camera on so they can make sure that you're still engaged and listening, and they can see the reaction, your body language as they present new ideas and topics. It helps them as speakers to know that their audience is participating, or they may not. There may be so many people in the room that to have your camera on during a lecture could be distracting. So it's up to the speaker, and they might set the stage as you enter the Zoom room for a webinar. But if you're having a meeting, a one-on-one meeting, or a few people, it's polite to have your camera on so people can see each other as they converse. You'll also notice next to your microphone and your video icon, a little tiny, they call it a caret, a little up arrow. You can click on that up arrow next to stop video, and a pop-up menu will appear that will let you choose a virtual background. You see my virtual background here. Those are optional. And sometimes it's nice to have a virtual background so that people don't see where you actually are while you're having your meeting. And there are different standard virtual backgrounds available through the Zoom app, or you can create your own just to share with everybody important images that you like, or to reinforce a brand that you're trying to express. So you can also choose video filters. We won't get into that today, but if you have time to click around in the Zoom app, get used to changing virtual backgrounds, adding them, and using the video filter settings. You'll also see at the bottom, there's an icon that looks like people with a number next to it. That tells you how many participants are actually in the room. Next to that is a little icon, another caret up arrow. If you click that, it allows you to invite someone to join you in your Zoom room. And that's sometimes a beneficial thing. You don't have to, though. Just to the right of that icon is another icon with a little box with an up arrow, an actual up arrow inside it. Below it, it says share screen. If you have an image that you would like other people in the Zoom room to see, perhaps it's a file, a Word document, or a PDF document that both of you want to be able to see at the same time. Maybe it's a presentation that you're giving. You can click on that icon, the green box. If it's enabled by the host of the meeting, it should be green. You can click on that. A pop-up menu with all the different apps or files that you have open at the time will appear, and you can click on the file that you wish to share. And click on that file, and then click the blue button that says share. And you will see that your image minimizes, and the file that you are sharing will have a green ring around it, so that you know as the speaker what you are sharing, what your audience is seeing. When you're done, you can click that red button at the top of your screen now that says stop share. You notice when you're sharing, your Zoom controls are minimized, and that mute, stop video, participants, and all those menu options, those icons are now on a floating menu bar that you can use your mouse to pick up and move so that it's not on top of what you're trying to look at and share. Your Zoom participants won't see you moving this menu bar, usually, unless you happen to share. I'm going to share it. The first image that comes up when you click share screen on that pop-up box is your screen. And you can actually share that. This is what that looks like. So now, if this is working right, you see my screen, you see me moving my menu bar because it came up on top of my own image. So I'm moving that out of the way so I can see what I'm doing. Here I have that file that I was going to, that I shared with you earlier, and you can see me scrolling through it. As I'm sharing, I don't have a green box around any of my screens. I know I have shared my entire screen, so the computer can't show me the green box around that, but I am sharing my entire screen, and you can see me. If I were to have my chat open, yes, we haven't talked about chat yet. If you click these three little buttons that say more, the first menu option is a chat. In Zoom, you can chat by text, and you can converse with everyone in the Zoom room, or if there were more people in here, you would see a list of those people. I could click on someone's name and send a message directly to that person. Be aware, if you're chatting directly with someone, at the end of the meeting, the host can save the chat, and they will see all the conversations that happened in the Zoom room. So be careful what you type in there. Perhaps you want to pause sharing. You can click that button and it will pause your sharing, so you can go back to full screen for impact or discussion. If you're sharing, you can still share another screen, and it will just automatically switch that image. And then if you want to stop sharing completely, like I said, you click that red stop share button on the bottom of your floating toolbar. When you're sharing screen, be careful about what other people can see. Just be aware that other people may be able to see things on your screen. So also, I'm going to share my screen again because that seems to work out well. So now you can see the menu button, the menu icons that I was talking about. There's your mute. Click to mute or unmute, stop video or start video. Security really just is more for the host, and you don't have to worry about that too much if you're not the host. If you are, you might want to look at some of those tools. Like I said, the participant list, and you can keep that open, so as more people enter the room, you can see them come in. This participant list up here also allows you some tools. You can mute participants in the meeting if they're, if you need to, and you can also rename your participants or allow them to rename themselves if you're the host. Here, and you see these icons that tell you about each participant. Is their camera on or off? Is their microphone on or off? Are they recording? And are they sharing? Pretty nice that it tells you that. So down here also, if you need it, there is a closed captioning tool available in Zoom. Be aware of that. That you can also, there's the reactions. You can react to things that people say without interrupting them by clicking some of these options. There's a hand clapping, applause, a thumbs up, I agree. You can laugh, you can be surprised, you can love something or be, celebratory. Also, you can raise your hand so that when the speaker is able, they can ask you a question. And that's a polite way to make sure that you are heard, but don't interrupt. Also, there are yes, no, and other comment buttons. You're going too fast, you're going too slow. So those are some nice tools that you can communicate with another speaker with as you're in a Zoom room. And for those who are hosting, you can connect your Zoom meeting to a live social media platform and share that as well. But that's for another video. those are the Zoom tools that I wanted to show to you so you can navigate easily and get used to using Zoom for meetings and other opportunities. It is a very powerful program, and you can Zoom with yourself, record yourself, and record a meeting like this, an instructional video. It's kind of handy like that. Don't be afraid to click around. Check on what things do. Really, the only thing you have to worry about is accidentally not ending. As you're in your Zoom meeting, be aware that if you're too far away from your computer, you may not be heard. If you see people on the screen lean in and do like this, that's kind of a big red flag to you that they're not hearing you very well. There are incidents with internet connectivity that cause a delay, or sometimes you'll see a screen just freeze. And you have to wonder, is that person really there, or did their computer freeze? And sometimes people just pop out of the room unexpectedly because of connectivity issues. So know that those things can happen. You can always call back in, and it's no stress, just reconnect and continue your conversation. When you're done with your Zoom call, down here, you'll see this little red button, end. And that allows you to leave the meeting. If you're the host, you can end the meeting for everybody all at once. But usually if you're not the host, when you click that leave, you'll see leave meeting, and you click that to get out of the room. So thank you for taking a little bit of time to go over some of these Zoom skills with me today. Zoom is a really interesting tool that allows you to connect with people all over the world face to face. So it's our future, and the more comfortable with it you are, the more fun you can have with it. There are other videos you can find on YouTube and video streaming services that can tell you more about advanced Zoom skills and other ways to connect. So have fun with it and get used to using Zoom. It's our future.